Good morning, everybody. How is everybody doing? That is awesome. Hope the
Good
weekend was
afternoon.
grand. Hope the weekend was grand. Um, Feel free to bring up anything you want to talk about. Anybody got any questions?
Yeah, I read your post on Nextdoor today when somebody tried to go out and say you all didn't show up for Stacy's her briefing or whatever she had, her rally that they had at grown folk. And I saw your post that you came back and said you couldn't be in two places at one time. So tell us about what the meeting you was at today.
The local option sales tax.
Well, let me just say this: as the loss meeting, and then that was uh, a town hall over at the International Convention Center. But prior to, nobody knew about Stacy coming to grown folks until 5 p.m. the day before.
Right.
And that just happened to be on the day that everything was set. Plus, she also left there and went to a fundraiser in town at Sandtown Pub for William Bodie. And so, and which a lot of people plan to be there. And then over to the Lost. Now, I'm just saying that that was already previously planned. And just couldn't go. We just couldn't make it on folks. That was a last minute thing. We all found out last minute. So, and on something that we had.
Can you explain what the loss is for people who don't understand what it is and how
Local option sales tax. That is the revenue that the cities get out and divvy up. And so Fulton County comes in, and so they get, and for all the other cities in South Fulton and Fulton County, you split it based on your population or the size. We are the third largest. So it's about negotiating, what is the percentage or what is the rate. So Fulton County was getting 4%. Now they want an absurd number. And so now we're in negotiations, trying to get that number down so that will maximize the sales tax that we receive per month.
Okay.
And so, we're talking about millions of dollars here. So, in just sales tax revenue. And so that's what that's about. This is all about negotiating from all the cities that make up Fulton County. And then they elect two people to go in and negotiate with Fulton County from each of those prospective cities. And so they go ahead and negotiate. And so we're in negotiations.
Is the percentage, Corey, is the percentage fixed and just the millage rate is to be determined?
No, not to my understanding. My understanding is we're working on a percentage. They already Fulton County already set the millage rate.
And you said that, but the percentage goes by population or not exactly?
Yeah, like Atlanta's like the one population. I forget who's number two, but I think we're the third largest in the county.
Mm-hmm.
And so you get a higher percentage. Basically, like just say Atlanta, you'll get 20%. Then it goes down if you under that 19, 18, 17. Thus, I can get you the accurate percentage amounts that we were getting. That was.
So it's not a fixed exactly on population. Like if we're 15% of the population, do we get 15%?
Land mass. I believe it's land mass.
Okay.
Oh, it's population.
It's population.
Yeah.
So we're at 108,000 per the last census.
If I ain't mistaken, Atlanta and Sandy Springs are ahead of us.
Correct. So the third largest, as far as population, What is Sandy Springs population?
I hadn't looked at the new census yet. I guess I need to catch up on that.
I honestly, I didn't pay to know nothing else but to South Fulton. So we in the same boat. And so but we can find out. I think that's just a Google search. But however, and so
Oh, I'm sorry. Sandy Springs is like 108,000. Let me see, 108,180. Oh, as of 2020.
at 2020 what?
Hold on a second. As of 2022, the population is 110,926 population.
Okay. Wow,
Okay.
that's a lot.
More than expected, huh? But
They're the
anyway,
6th largest city in Georgia. The 6th
so that
largest
would
city
make
in Georgia.
so that would make us what, 7th or 8th largest city.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm. Mhm. They're currently growing at a rate of 1.30% annually.
So it's
According
10%.
to-
So to answer the question, based on population or land mass, I was corrected. It said it was population. So that's what it's based on. And but anyway, that's why we could not be at the meeting. Just basically, it's just, and it's one of these seasons that is the last minute things. You'll try to jet over there if you can squeeze it in, but you're there for 2 minutes and then you have to leave. And so, but there's no doubt about who do we support or who is supported for this gubernatorial race and who we need to support, because a lot of things dictates, on the outcome of the winner of that race. So there's just no doubt. And I don't know, but you can't take advantage and think that, well, you're not black if you're not a Democrat.
Shame,
so,
shame.
I mean, I'm not even gonna touch that one, but I'm just saying that it's the idea of the agenda and what certain policies and certain things need to happen. It's just not going to happen under this administration that we currently have. And so, you look at what I think you should be campaigning in places that you know that you need stronger voter turnout or voters. Here we do need a greater number of turnout the voters, right? And so I think that from the last gubernatorial race, looking at the numbers, that this area here, they came out in droves.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't focus on the areas that, you may not have sewn up. Not to take advantage that you have this area sewn up. I mean, we do have a lot of people who, since this current presidential administration took place, you do have a lot of blue, or just let's say you had a lot of blue turn red. Let's say that. And but however, so you still need a campaign, but at the end of the day, I think that this area we know what we need. If you do your research and your own research for your best candidate, what is going for the things that you want, the outcomes that you want to have, as far as quality of life, as far as Medicaid, Medicare. We talk about hospitals. That comes out there from the state. We obviously see they're not under this current administration. They're not even addressing it. They're closing them, but they're not addressing where some needs to be. And so, what outweighs, what option? For me personally, that option of the hospital, that's one of my biggest things because I do know our population and the demographics of it, and I think there's a need that the state is obviously overlooking. So, but that's for me. Everybody has their own individual reasons for why they want to do what they want to do. Did anybody go to that meeting on this call? Was anybody there at Grown Folks? Did they attend? And if so, how was it?
Ms. Collins, go ahead.
Okay, yes, I attended the loss meeting. Is that the meeting you're speaking of?
No, ma'am. I'm speaking of the one with Stacey Abrams, the gubernatorial candidate, coming over to Grown Folks.
Oh, no, I didn't attend that. I went to the loss meeting.
And let me just say also, I'm sorry, hey, Miss Collins, how you doing? Let
All
me
right, how
just
you
say
doing?
also, I'm great, thank this Miss Jane. So let me just say also, Councilman Reed, a lot of time people don't even find out about these meetings until it's too late. And you can't try to jump through hoops to try to go to all these meetings. I know you want to. I mean, when I say you, I don't mean you personally, I just mean you in general, right? So, I went over to Bodie's thing because that's what I heard about. So I went over there. Now, had I known about Stacey Abrams over at Grown Folk, I might have tried to get over there too. But it's a lot going on right now, and you can't possibly go to all these meetings that's going on, okay?
Absolutely
So,
impossible.
It's just impossible. And these people got to get the message. They got to get the message out there earlier. You want people to drop everything they doing because, it's Stacey Abrams or whatever. Well, if we get the message early enough, then more people will show up. Stop acting like it's a clique. And then when it's too late, you want to start trying to invite folks because you want a lot of people there, okay? Get the message out there early. That's all I got to say about that, okay? Thank you.
Anybody else?
I would like to discuss the loss meeting.
Go ahead. What's your take?
On the loss meeting, does everyone understand what LOST mean in this scenario? Because I would like to explain it so that most of us can understand it.
Please explain to me, because I sure want to understand.
Okay. First of all, and Councilman Reeves, you can correct me at any time you feel as though I am incorrect.
Oh, go ahead, Ms. Collins.
Okay, we're on the same page. First of all, at one point, Fulton County was collecting 35% of the 1 cent sales tax that is generated from events, rental cars, and other items. And that is what helps sustain the cities for the city of South Fulton. I believe it's 15 cities now with the city of South Fulton. However, the contract ends as of December 31st, 2022. And I believe they want to negotiate, or the cities want to negotiate a 6.5% of revenue generated from this 1 cent sales tax. However, let me explain it to you. Fulton County is using the money for their courts and other items that were not approved by the state. And I believe that's a list of 17 items, and one of them is parks, police, and etc., to help sustain our cities for the services that we receive now. And if that goes away, that means that our services will be diminished. Also, let me give you a great example. And this is from the mayor of East Point. She said, if it goes away, their millage rate at this point is 13 point something. And if that goes away, their millage rate will have to go up to 21% or maybe 25% to give them a cushion. And the city of South Fulton stands to lose $210,000 over the next 10 years. And we need our thousands to pay, what's that, CDRA? I mean, our millions to pay CDRA. Now, Councilman Reeves, did I leave out anything or can you assist in this matter? Hello?
Oh, yes, I'm here.
Okay, did I leave out anything? Whereas we stand to lose a lot. And one other important thing, the county should not be using the funds for their courts and items that they feel as though they need to use them for. And I believe it's state mandated that they're supposed to use them for these 17 lists of 17 things, such as the parks, the police, lighting, and what have you.
Correct. And so,
Okay.
but and the percentage that they was getting,
Mm-hmm.
what was that percentage you said, Ms. Collins?
I believe it's 35%, right?
The percentage that they're asking for now?
I believe it's 6.5. That's what they're trying to get them to sell on. Oh, and one other thing I left out. Fulton County, unincorporated Fulton County, service 889 citizens. At this point, I believe their budget is what, $32 million? Is that, I would think that's what it is. I know it's 889 citizens and the budget is $32 million out of the loss fund.
Right, except for I believe they was getting 6.5% and now they asking for 35%.
Okay, so it went back, it's up to 35%. Okay.
So that's what
That
they're
was
asking
why I
for,
was
which will knock all the cities out of whack. And to compensate for the services that, what are they really providing? And so, and that's an absurd number. That's why it's so high, so drastic. That's these long round of negotiations. But I think that there are some things that we'll be able to decide on that's going to be beneficial to all. So, and let the negotiations continue. Because ain't nobody trying, Fulton County is just trying to come out and act like they're czar and just because they're the county. And, but however, they're just asking for way too much. They've been getting,
Mm-hmm.
they've been asking way too much for us percentage wise. And so that's any negotiations. You start up high, you come down, and so it's coming down to a nice medium. In other words, they wanted to go up on a 6.5%. So just
235. Okay. Now, and if they can't reach a resolution in the situation, then it's going to go to court, right?
right. But we'll reach
Okay.
a resolution. I believe that we'll reach a resolution. I was going to leave it all up to the negotiators we chose. And so I just think they'll do us in the best interest of the constituents of the entire county.
I hope so, because what is it, 15 cities? Yeah, exactly.
If you have 15 kids, who do you feed first?
I eat first. Let them go hungry.
Lord, have mercy. Okay
Hey,
then.
get this. So just think about it in that perspective. It's like all of them hungry now. Is who do you feed first? That's a tough question. I mean, but at some point, it's, just got to make a decision to stick with it. There's no topic or agenda for tonight, Sergeant Major, but whatever you want to talk about. This is an open mic, open forum night. Go ahead,
Well,
Ms.
thank
Joy.
you.
Councilman Reeves, I just have, this question is not really directed at you. I'm just brainstorming. The Wellstar Center is going to be closing November 1st. What part can we play? What can we do to keep that open? Because that's going to be a major impact on the city. Not only in Atlanta, it's going to be a major impact on everybody around Atlanta. Because that's a level 1 trauma center.
We've tried. Work with
No.
a certificate of need of state, and basically nothing. There's nothing. I mean, you have to appeal at the state level, and because that's who regulates, that's who controls that. Which
Okay.
I'm trying to still figure that one out. Is the state has to issue a municipality or a county a certificate of need.
Mm-hmm.
The same state that closed 10 hospitals during the middle of COVID.
Wow.
The same state them 10 hospitals closing that there was only 1 million out there hospital beds around the United States out there. How do you close 10 hospitals in the middle of a pandemic?
Yes.
But this is the reality of a situation right here in the state of Georgia. Understanding that under this current administration, the needs that we have as significant needs,
Mm-hmm.
just not gonna cut the mustard. So we have to look at, like I said, the issue of getting a certificate of need and having a hospital or having a hospital authority is significant, just because of that matter. And I think, did they close one on Boulevard too? The one closed in Atlanta too? I think
Yeah.
so.
The level 1 trauma center.
Well, one closed on Cleveland Avenue.
That's the emergency room right there, center right there. But then
Right.
the other one I think is in Atlanta. Like they just closed that one. Well, now saying
No, that's the one I think Miss Armstrong. Isn't that the one you
That's
talking
what
about?
I'm referring to, that they're gonna
They
close
don't-
it
it's-
November the
yeah.
1st, and it's like, wow, that's a level 1 trauma center.
right.
Mhm.
My bad. I thought she was talking about the one on Cleveland Avenue. So that's the emergency room. But yes, that is true. Right. I think about that. I'm just
Well, my
kidding.
question to you was, not so much as the closing, but how do you think that the city of South Fulton, is there anything that we can do? Nothing?
Nothing.
Oh, there's nothing
Yeah.
we can do. And that being in Atlanta, number one, but then number two is that, where does that leave South Fulton and the options on where we're going to go if we have an emergency?
Exactly.
Ms.
So
Miller,
that's what
And
I'm
the
saying. My
emergency
concern is
where
that
you
you
going?
say
I
the
hope
city
y'all
of
have insurance, 'cause
Atlanta
you know
is
people
not
out-
doing, the city of Atlanta said, we did all we can do. So my thing is okay, where do you think the city of South
Yeah.
Fulton can play some kind of part in there to say, hey, we want to keep it open, so we're willing to contribute to the whatever cost it is. Because it's gonna be costly all around.
Go ahead, Ms.
Oh,
Miller Matt.
I would disagree with that one then, because I would only want to contribute to the one that is going to support the one that's here in the city, technical bounds of the city of South Fulton. I mean,
Councilman.
because you have to, for the you use that one at Trauma Center, yeah, it's still Grady, but right, I don't know this, but you now got Piedmont Fayetteville that's building up tremendously, and so, but I mean, I hope your insurance
And
card
let me
works.
tell you, I'm sorry, Councilman Green. Let me tell you something about Grady. Now, we all dependent on Grady.
Hold on,
Grady
Ms.
is a-
Jane. Ms. Miller Mapp had something she wanted to say, and Ms. Collins had something.
Okay, my bad. I'm sorry, y'all.
Go ahead,
You
Ms.
can
Miller.
support us, right? It's all good. But go-
Okay, but, Councilman Reeves, okay, you spoke of the certificate of need. This issue of the level 1 trauma center and the issues with Wellstar closing all of its assets, this is not new. This is not new. It's been going on for years. It started with the Affordable Care Act. And I hate to say that when the Republican Party took over the House and also at the federal level, when they started talking about eliminating the Affordable Care Act, it failed. Each time that they failed, and they stopped talking about it, have y'all noticed? Because they couldn't get rid of it. So it is the law of the land. So, and when they started refusing Medicaid, and especially Governor Kemp would not expand Medicaid, there's Medicaid money sitting at the Gold Dome that they're not using. So by not using that money and making it available to hospitals that need it, 6 hospitals in South Georgia closed already, long before Wellstar started getting the attention in the media. So this is not new. This has been going on. Our legislators knew it. Our legislators knew it years ago. But have you heard them talking about it? No. Where are our Black legislators who represent us? And you talk about a certificate of need, everything that is required to get a certificate of need for the city of South Fulton and all the cities that are represented in South Fulton County is already there. They're just not ready to do the work. Yes, it takes work. Yes, it takes years to get the work done, but they didn't do it. They could have. Rob Pitt stood up before the media when Wellstar announced they're closing the Atlanta Medical Center because he had to. He could have spoke up before he became the chair of the Fulton County Commission. All of them could have spoken up. Roger Bruce could have spoken up. They didn't. They don't deserve the office. They didn't represent us, knowing that this situation has been brewing for a long time. Now we do not have the healthcare needs. They're not representing us. We do not have any place to go. Grady cannot absorb all of this.
Nope.
Emory, Midtown, Piedmont Hospital in Buckhead, and what are the other alternatives? Northside cannot absorb all of us. And when they're in the midst of a heart attack or a stroke, who can get to those hospitals in a matter of minutes to save our lives? Come on.
That's a
And
fact.
these are the people that we keep electing and re-electing just because of their name? No, ma'am. No, sir.
Ms.
People need to
Collins?
wake up and pay attention to what they are doing to earn this position to represent us. They're not doing it.
Ms.
Ms.
Miller, I'm
Collins?
gonna just say this. You hit something that was definitely spot on, and you said it was key, very astute. And so until they expand Medicare, Medicaid, which is they leave it up to the states out there to do, which comes from that gubernatorial office. And that's why you see the interest, because under this current administration, is not going to happen. There's a chance to change that this November. I'm looking to change that in hopes that they will represent our needs. If that does not happen, then for me, I made a bad choice. And so that is why I'm saying, because you're right, Ms. Miller, that this is not just brand new. They don't just up and decide one day, oh, let's close the hospital. There's warnings, things of that nature that come. But they do so many things behind the scenes that they just keep a hush mouth on that. I didn't even know nothing about the Atlanta Medical Center today. I didn't know nothing about the emergency room out there. So these decisions don't even hit us till after the fact. But there are some people who do know.
It's
But anyway,
ridiculous.
go ahead, Ms. Collins.
Yes, my question is, has anyone looked at the fact that they should expand Grady and have 2 locations as opposed to 1? Yes, and that would result.
I said, they got Piedmont Fayetteville. Why ain't we got a Grady South Fulton? But that's me wishful thinking.
Yeah,
But thank you for picking
Well,
it
we
to my
can't even get a
mind.
building. We can't even get a building in South Fulton, so I'm just saying.
What do you mean you can't get a building?
I'm just saying.
You mean because
We
the
can't
council's
even get a
homeless?
city building in the city of South Fulton.
You mean because the council's homeless? Is that what you're saying?
I'm just saying.
I don't know.
So, anywho, okay, it's my turn. Is it my turn now?
Well, we
My
had
hand.
Sergeant Major who addressed in the chat. She said it looks like we need David Scott and Raphael Warnock to address the situation.
Well, we can't even find David Scott. so,
Hospitals are nonprofits, says Al Farrell. So go ahead, Jane. Go ahead. Speak your mind.
Well, everybody hit on pretty much the same thing. And I was going to say too, Grady cannot handle. I mean, Grady is already overloaded. And let me tell you something. Don't be surprised now. Grady is already needing funds as well. So they better start right now putting some money into Grady.
Right. So
You know,
let me ask you
Grady
this.
is threatening. Grady
when
is
the-
threatening every year to close.
Right. Yeah, that they miraculously come up with $1 million now, adding the whole wing. So
Right.
let me ask you this. So it's when does early voting start?
October 17th. And that's another thing. See, now with some of the candidates, you know, pretty much we only got like one or two choices at this point, right? Either Democrat choice or the Republican. Now, see, we need to get involved early on when there are more candidates out there running to be choosing who we end up with. Because now we end up with the same person, then y'all say they're not doing anything. So now what's going to happen? Same thing. Right? You're going to keep getting the same thing. So we
What's that
need to get
definition of
involved.
when you do the same thing and expect to get the different results?
That's right.
What they
That's
call
right.
that? What's that definition? I can't think of that. What is that definition they say?
If
Insanity.
it ain't broke, if it ain't broke, don't
Insanity.
fix it.
Insanity. Insanity.
Yeah,
Oh,
I'm sorry. That's what it was.
yep, that's
but
it.
anywho, so you know, and we need to look at. We always start talking about the hospitals that are closing or that have closed. We are never talking about opening a hospital. I know it's going to take, you know, funds and it's going to take this and certificates and all that, but we're never talking about opening up a hospital. The hospital on Fairburn Road, I think that's Fairburn Road, that hospital closed years ago. Now that should have been a wake-up call. What was it, Southwest something? That hospital closed years ago. So we always are closing these hospitals, but we're not opening any new hospital. But we got money for up there north side to open some new wings and all this kind of stuff. But we can't get nothing over here on the south side. I got a problem with that.
Well, because early vote starts October the 17th, and
Yes, sir.
that's all they have to do is accept out that expanded Medicare, Medicaid, and that this current administration is not offering. So October the 17th, you can go out there and start selecting what is your issues.
But he
based
can
on your
find
issues.
some money. He can find some money. This $350, whatever it is that he's throwing out here now. He can find all this pocket of money to give to the public right now.
Well, it could be for the
Man.
interest that off from all the money that Medicare and Medicaid is sitting up in there that they're just not tapping into. But who knows where that financing comes from? But I'm just saying, one could only imagine. Anybody else? Anything else?
Yes, sir. I have one last question. Now that Old National has been paved, when can we expect the communities to be paved?
Old National was a GDOT project. We have
Yeah,
a
they've
resurfacing
already
project
paved
in
it from 138 all down to the other end. So now they need to come into the communities
But you know
and
what they
start
missing though?
paving
You know what they-
there.
Right, but you know what they missing that I asked for? A bike lane.
Huh?
A bike lane. There's no
Well,
bike
I
lane.
Them
don't,
cyclists, those
now the
cyclists.
bike lane
bike
might be
lane.
important, but right now I need them to come into my community because when they paved that, what the guy said, they put more sand in the pavement than they did anything. So now I got pitfalls throughout my neighborhood. I need them to fix that before
So
Well,
the
I'm
there's
gonna
a
need some
resurfacing-
sidewalks and some lights and some grass cut.
before
I
the
mean,
city,
well, we
start
hold
suing
on.
the city.
No, right. Huh? Yeah, right. And thank you, because GDOT don't pay the city, but we do have a resurfacing project, Heritage Park. Let me see what that is out there on the list.
Please tell me.
And so I'll find out for you.
Yep, they said I was on the list. I said, well, how far back? Because these people gonna start putting in claims after a while for people jacking up the streets, them pitfalls. I had some big old, I said they were so big, they was just like graves. I said, people back out their driveway, they gonna have to pay, the city gonna have to pay for that, knocking their car out of line.
Oh yeah, I hit a big bump today. I'm gonna find out who's responsible for
Yeah,
that
so
big
we
hole.
need to get that done immediately.
Well, right. See, it's costing, get this. It's costing the city money either way. Either you don't do it, it costs you money, or you do it, it costs you money. But I'm hoping this fix the problem. But yeah, to your point, I can't tell you where to go or what to do about that, the direction to go in. But you have to do it out there in the best for you. I think that, or the liability where that falls. And I will find out where Heritage Park is on that list. And so,
Okay.
because we have a resurfacing project here with the T-spot. So check
Can you find
T-spot.
out? Can you find out where Flash Old Road is with sidewalks and overgrown grass and the lights too and grass and the trees?
That's put in on this. T-Splot deal here, but there's legit grants to that can address that outside of T-Splot. We're
Well,
speaking of our grant writing class is starting this Wednesday.
right, and Ms. Jane, if
Ma'am.
you got overgrown grass or whatever you got, see, that's a part of code enforcement, so you need to be talking to me. Just send me a message, send me an
Okay.
address, and I'm gonna hook you up, because we got court in the morning.
I'll be calling after this meeting.
Now, mind you, with this contract with Brightview out there, 232 miles of this right away, that grass should be cut and trimmed every. You see anything on the right of way that's out of whack, please notify Public Works ASAP.
Yep,
Beginning October 1st, which was Saturday. So today. And so, this contract is underway. Remember, they got Brightview to cut that 232
Right.
miles right away.
and if you see anything up and down Old National, you say, you know what, they got trash there, you got that there. Okay, send me some kind of note or something.
Okay.
Okay, so
Okay.
we can get on that.
And one more question, I promise that's it. So who do we notify when we see illegal dumping? Because out there on Mallory Road to the
You're
left.
talking to the same person.
Okay, I got you. I'm gonna
Send
take
a
some pictures. No
picture
worries.
and
Mallory,
a-
I'm taking some pictures.
send a picture and the closest address, and I'm gonna hook you up.
Okay, then I'm gonna take some pictures. No worries. Thank y'all. Okay, thank you.
All right then.
So thank
Councilman
you.
Reeves,
Yes.
I'm not bragging on you. I'm not giving you no kind of glory, but I want to say out
Yes.
of all the council people that we have, I appreciate you on Monday night. God knows I do, when you can come and just voice and say, hey, this is my concern, that they're not, what's going on. I appreciate you. You can't do
thank you, sir.
everything, but you are making a concerted effort
Ditto.
to do all you can do, and I appreciate you.
Well, I thank
Ditto.
y'all too, because I understand something. Me doing this allows y'all to be on. Look, Jane just got her questions answered. Who she got to contact? They right here on the call.
That's it.
We do is just try to bring things that's on constituents' mind and needs, and just here, like we'll schedule people to come on, and we usually address issues before they really even happen. In some cases, can we solve everything? No, but can we make
No,
a
you
concerted
can't,
effort to try?
but you're
Yeah.
doing the great thing, and I want you to keep pressing.
Oh, we have
Just
to
keep
press on.
on pressing, just keep on pressing, because you'll never be able to please nobody. But if you please one person, you've accomplished one goal.
Well, I'll just take what Dr. King said. Is he says you can take away all the degrees and everything else, but just tell them, make sure you tell them I tried to help somebody. And so I literally internalized that. And so,
And
but
wait a minute,
also too,
Master Sergeant, could you please pass them Cheetos back one more time? I saw that. I like.
oh wow,
I like
I
them.
did hot,
Can I have
I
one
did hot
more?
Cheetos. I like the hot Cheetos. Thank you, Ms.
You have
Scott, for
two
that.
hands. You have two hands raised.
I
and
can't
you
help
have
that.
two hands raised.
I can't help that I'm that observant, but when I saw it, I was like, what Cheetos?
Who had a hand raised, Sheila?
Mr. Venable.
Go ahead, Mike.
Yeah, I was trying to figure out when this silly game about COVID protocol and virtual meetings are going to stop, because this has nothing whatsoever to do with COVID. And you're laughing. I mean, this is you.
Talked
They are
about this last time,
purposely
Mike.
not wanting to see the people on this side of town and not wanting to see people in their face talking about these ridiculous zoning cases that they're doing.
No, let me just say this. They can meet in person. It's just if anything happens, we would have to have a special call meeting to come back and just, say that we go to the virtual meetings. That's all it is. Now, they should be having these meetings in person. I mean, that's just in place. Now, if they're using that for the zoning cases, because I know the planning meeting was in person. And so, like, we meet in person. We're sitting at a council meeting deciding that if we meet in person. And so, we exercise to have 50% of our meetings virtually, 50% of our meetings in person. Under that just gives us that option. But
they're,
council's homeless, though. I mean, me personally, I think we should be virtual. until we find a home. Like, I mean, trying to go to a building that don't work with the doggone internet and you just got problems and issues. I mean, that's just bad Wi-Fi connection. I mean, that's, why are we just not? I just personally think we should be virtual.
I like
And,
it.
and so,
My thing is, if they're want to using Welcome All, just put all of them at Welcome All. It looks bad.
Hey, I agree. Wherever we have, put it this way, wherever we meet in council to have a meeting, let every meeting be there. Obviously, that makes sense.
Ditto.
Why is
You
that
said it
not
right there,
happening?
Corey.
So why is that not happening?
Because we haven't coalesced
Hey,
to get me in office.
Madam Tammy Sadler Jones is a city manager. And we set the policy out there to give us that option. But she's one out there who runs that day to day. We don't have control over when those meetings take place. Email her that question. And I'm curious of the response. Email her and copy the whole council on that too, matter of fact.
I mean, but you all shouldn't come back and renew the policy. It's unnecessary.
So that means we would have to find 2 meeting spaces per month. But then again, we can always meet at City Hall, right? And so
True.
until in that little break room, which I mean, we have to be in somewhere conducive out there for adequate space out there for the DSM, for the constituency, and for all other things that take and make to go run that meeting. And so, mind you, council is homeless. I personally think we should be virtual. That's my personal thought. Corey A. Reed's personal thought. Why we keep moving around, inconveniencing other facilities? Because we homeless. We do everything else except for try to find a building where we can have a home. Somewhere that can be just, because wherever home is wherever the other meeting is. That's what I'm getting at.
Well, if you're doing it one space at all, no other city is doing this. They cut that out. Everybody's going back in person. And if Welcome All was good on the second meeting of the month, it should be good for the first meeting of the month.
Yeah, I hear your point. I got you.
I mean, it's really an insult to the people on this side of town because that's what it looks like. Nobody wants to come over here, but we're cool.
So let me just say this. I voted in the affirmative, right, for that to happen. So what am I hearing from you? Does anybody else feel like that? Because I did vote in the affirmative for that. But of course, my own thought was we should be 100% virtual, but that's wishful thinking. But does anybody else feel like?
Councilman Reed,
Yes.
I think we're to our hour. And if you don't mind, let us just close that out with an hour of prayer. If you don't mind, let God do what he do, because we done all we can do.
Right. There's another hand raised. I know, but I right. And so I hear you, Mike. I hear you, Mr.
I mean, I think Councilman Reed, that it just should be an option. Like we ought to have some place to go. If people want to meet, then let them meet. If they don't, then we still should be able to do it virtually. But we need a home. We need a home.
Right. There was another hand raised.
Yes, it's Miss Johnson.
Hey, Miss Johnson.
Hey, Miss Johnson.
Okay. Welcome All was fine with me. You can do virtual, you can do in person. I just now the other night over there at Welcome All, incident happened that I think that was uncalled for, that that person should have not spoke to the chief like he did, and I don't know how he got in to speak like he did, and I think that was uncalled for. But I didn't get to speak. I just had to put that input in. But I'm asking, okay, they did our sidewalks on Fairwood. And I know that cement have dried. So I want to know how long is it to pick up that farm around there and those cones. You know, the wind is blowing, those cones are blowing out in the street, making the neighborhood look bad. I need for them to come out here and pick that up, and I can walk.
Right. So one of the things, Ms. Johnson, I'm glad you mentioned that. Two things. As one thing about the sidewalks is that you coming up Benchmark and going down Fairwood, you see they only frame that little piece of corner, right? Well, yeah, we kind of had an issue with that because they legit thought that was going to stop, and I went out there and I measured it, 76 feet to connect to the walk that's in front of the school. Now, I had to go out there and literally shoot a video, take all this, and it says, I just know we're not going to leave. We talk about sidewalks nowhere. We talk about this. You think you're going to put this ground as a curb and this
ridiculous.
I mean, so then they finally, they can't, because they were going to stop. But I had to say something, so they staked that up. So they're going to reframe it all the way and connect it. And going to looking at removing the black. Mr. Valenzuela met me on site Friday afternoon because I was just like, this is that. After me spending all week saying, I just know this just looked crazy. Ooh,
Yeah.
I was about to say something else, but this just looked crazy. And all I'm saying is that when
What happened? You cut out?
is we're gonna move the blinking light there, remove that pole. So I mean remove the blinking light, and then we're gonna get the solar flashing stop signs, and then some the signs I'm still working on. I'm still working on the god doggone train notification on the track on Mallory and Fairwood. So
That was ridiculous on Sunday. Ridiculous.
well, it's just a work in progress, but dog, it's one of it's a process. She whiz, it's a process too.
So
And so
for
we're saying-
we gonna get the flashing stoplights.
Huh?
Are we getting the flashing stoplights like they got down
Yes,
Welcome
ma'am.
All?
Yes, ma'am. That's what was on site talking about. That's what's coming. But that because they was gonna leave them sidewalks. They was legit. I think I said this anyway. That's why they cones are still there, Miss Miss Johnson.
So they're gonna come back out here and straighten them up.
Yeah, when they finished the entire project.
Right.
Because they thought they was, I guess they thought they called themselves trying to be done, but no, anyway, we got it. But I can talk to you more offline about that specifically.
Yeah, we got it. Okay, we'll talk.
But to your question, because the gentleman came up in public comments and blasted our chief like that, spoke about item number 16 on the agenda. Our chief came up and then they were talking about trying to keep that on the agenda, but our chief was responding to something that somebody already spoke about. So that's why we voted to let chief keep going on about that to address it. And so because the guy did get up there and attack him, and I'm just gonna say something, that's a convoluted story. Chief did a press conference, and I don't do press, but I went still with my chief, and I stand with him and stand beside him. And so I'm not going to get those two convoluted stories mixed up because, as he explained in the press conference, it was a resignment in lieu of termination, which Post treats that as the same thing. I'm hoping to get that entire clip and I'm gonna put it on my site so everybody can see this and they can see it in its entirety and understand why I'm telling y'all that I have no problem stating it publicly any other way. People can call corrupt, people can call whatever. You're head of an organization, you know what I mean? You do things that you do to lead that organization. Do you do the things that's necessary to have corrective actions for that organization? And you do that. One bad apple is not going to spoil the bun. This chief has been exemplary. Matter of fact, they just won the customer service award last night at this banquet they was at. But needless to say, I believe in his leadership. I trust his leadership, and I stand with him. So you ain't got to worry about what Corey Reeves stand with Chief Meadows. I stand with him. So get this. I'm letting y'all know right here. It's recorded. So anybody asks, where does he stand? Just go play the tape, roll tape. I stand with him.
All right.
And so
No hesitation or reservation. So I just want to make that fact and that statement.
Mayor
think
Pro
Ms.
Tem, can I
Armster and
say
Ms.
one thing? Because I need to get on another Zoom.
Yes, ma'am.
I want to say thank you for your meetings on every Monday, because it does make a difference. You are making a difference. I just want to say, and I can take the heat and take the pressure too. You can't lead where you don't go, and you can't teach what you don't know. Now, if you're gonna get involved, give all your all. If you're not gonna help, if you're gonna complain, step back. If you're not gonna make a difference, step back. If you're gonna do all you can do, then step up. Let's get it done. He can't do it all by himself. This is about us. It ain't just about him. He decided that, hey, I'm willing to stand before the people and make a difference and do all I can do to make a difference. If you're not gonna do it, if you're gonna complain, stay home. If you're not gonna do nothing, stay home.
Hey, so,
Ms.
so,
Armster,
We
hey,
need
so,
everybody to help. This is
Ms.
everybody's
Armster, I gotta
problem.
piggyback on you and then I'm gonna let Ms. Taylor come on in.
that's why I
I
said
just
me
want you to
we.
know behind the scenes, the main ones who I get calls and comments from or say stuff negative about Councilman
Lord
Reeves.
have mercy.
Do you know, I can't tell you, I don't know, I don't see them at any of the meetings.
Nope.
They don't come to none of the meetings.
Mm-mm.
So that's what my biggest thing is that you don't participate at all. But Ms. Taylor, go ahead.
So I just want to address the part about the cement because I
Hey,
know
Miss
this
Baby,
knowledge.
what's going on?
Hey, so it takes 30 days for cement to cure. And I see why they still got those stobs up there. But it takes a while for cement to cure. Just because it looks dry doesn't mean that it's cured. It takes at least 30 days for it to cure. Because you don't want to walk on it and
right.
Huh?
You've been talking to somebody out there who be
You know,
testing
I know.
concrete, huh? Get it. I told you, you know a little something about that, huh? Cure, right? Cure and play. Hey, okay,
Yeah.
she's speaking a construction language now, but hey, get this, you understand?
Yeah, that's
but
why.
But that's legit, right?
Yeah. But that's all I had to say.
Well, thank you so much. We appreciate your input. That was valuable knowledge.
Oh, you're welcome. You know, I know construction.
Amen.
All right. We have a comment out here, which I think you want to talk to about the affordable housing program. And I think you have someone on the call that has a testimonial. Ms. Dillard was on here. I don't know if she's still there.
So to your affordable housing, Miss Map, I tell you, Corey Reeves tried to address this issue. They sabotaged me, but however, Miss Dillard, would you come on the line and unmute? And I just wanted to let just tell them people if we get an extra minute or two, y'all just have to hear the story and understand why I am pushing this issue of you talk about affordable housing, sustainable housing, but the square footage people want that it's a need. So we're going to work towards progress. I digress. We're going to work towards that progress. Miss Dillard, please unmute yourself and introduce yourself and tell them your story.
Okay, I hope I did it right. Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. First of all, moving here from another state, and I love what I see. But for some reason, I just wanted to be in the area where I am. And it took me a while to find something. And I started renting this house. But the issues that I'm finding is it's incomplete. They may say, okay, it's this much, this amount each month. You can have a pet. You can do this, that, or the other. Okay, fine. But as soon as I saw something in the house that wasn't working right and I called it in, then it produced a major problem for them. Well, it was broke when I got here, but while I'm here, you need to fix it because I don't want you accusing me of that I broke this thing. So I think everything in here that was broke, I've called on it except one item, but they can't handle it. And the attitude of the people that I get to on the phone, I don't know if they think I was born yesterday or last night or what the case is, but I'm going to respond in the way I know how to respond. And you're not talking to somebody that was born at night. So at least not last night. So I speak up, but after a while, it just seemed like a game. And I don't like what I see or what I hear, and the honesty that needs to come forth when they're talking about here's a home you can rent and it's this, that, and the other. Okay, fine. And then you're in here for a minute and you suggest or make a call, I should say, that this needs to be addressed. Then all of a sudden it's a problem. And next thing I know, I'm getting a notice from them that they want me to move. Why?
And what was the extremes that they went to, and how I got involved when this first started happening? What was they doing or threatening to do to you?
Let's see. Well, even
Evict.
the list thing was weird. Lease paperwork was weird, but I signed it because I really wanted to move here. I enjoyed what I was seeing. That was in December. By the latter part of January, I was getting notices from them through email that you need to watch this, like make sure you got the yard picked up. Then I got one about cutting down trees. I'm like, are you serious? These great big trees in the back, I'm not trying to cut one of them back or call anyone to pay them to cut it down. That's not my job. I don't own this. The next thing I know, I get an email stating that at the end of, I think it was March, they wanted me to move out. So I text back, why? I never did get an answer. It's just, okay, whatever I was doing, they didn't like, so they wanted me out of the house. But I'm still here, and I've called other things in, but they cannot handle it. And I don't want to be responsible at the end of a lease.
Right, Ms. Dillon, what were they charging you, your rent, and then what did they say they was going to go up to?
When I moved in, it was 9 something. I can't remember exactly. I think it was like 9.55 or 45, somewhere in there. And after I had reported this one incident with the water leaking, it went up to 1,000 and something. I'm like, okay. Anything I reported, it was a problem to them, but it was horrible. It was costing money if you fix it, costing money if I'm here. So they couldn't handle it as far as I'm concerned. I'm not supposed to report. I should be glad I'm living here and just shut up. But if I move out, you're going to charge me for all of it? You're going to make a big issue out of it? And they couldn't handle it. So I would get these little letters or messages in my email about, here's another one. You got to be out by such and such a date. And I would respond with, what's the reason? And never really got a legitimate reason. I even had one thing they nailed to my front, not nailed, I'm sorry. They taped to my front screen door saying I had to move. And I'm like, this is the same one you sent in an email. There's no name, no sticker, no nothing from an office or anything. So to me, it's like this undercover game that they play so they can intimidate people, get enough money. If you're not paying what I want you to pay, we want you out so we can get somebody else in here.
So when they charge you from $950 to like $1,600?
They went to $1,433.
$1,433. And from $955. But also too, as them trying to threaten to kick you out, this is while the moratorium was in place, mind you. What measures did they go to that you told me about or showed me that these folks did and trying to actually get you out of the house while the moratorium was in place of evictions?
I got a text, because that's generally the way they contacted me. I got a text saying that they were going to send this guy with a truck from California here to move me out. And if I didn't move out when he came, then I would have to pay money for him and the truck to go back to California. I'm like, you send what you want, but why am I leaving? What have I done?
But as far as what measure they do for your utilities that occurred?
Oh, haha, that one. I always pay my bill on time, always. And I called in that first of the month to pay my bill, and the lady that answered the phone, she said, but your service is cut off. And I'm like, why? And she said, well, are you owning? I said, no, I'm renting. She said, hold on a minute. She put me on hold. And when she came back to the phone, she said, I'm giving you a whole new account. You have never been late. You've always been on time. But the owner of the building or the company or however she worded it is the one who cut it off. And it was my power. And I never did, even though I tried. I never got a reason why that was done to this day.
So in the sake of time, Ms. Dillard, and so I'm sorry it came on a little later, but when we talk about affordable housing and when we talk about sustainable housing, I look at Ms. Dillard. When did I meet you? What was it? March of last year?
Yeah, because it was during that time when I met you and was telling you about them coming. They were going to pull up.
Right? They don't know how crazy I am, but I
And Councilman, I'm sorry, Councilman Reed, and all that her landlord has done to her is illegal by law. It is illegal.
No, Miss Jane, check this out. I know that. And so, and we were just helping out. But understand this, they back at it again. I told them over my dead body, and I done kept I was an all black, having a little AM-15. I'm a little insane when it comes to this type of stuff because they was threatening to. How old are you, Miss Dillard?
73.
Oh my goodness.
And get it in the middle of COVID with nowhere to go out there, and y'all thought y'all was going
to. And did she have a lease, Miss Dillard? Did you have a lease?
Yeah, legit legal lease.
And so, oh my God, that is ridiculous.
I'm gonna let you talk to her offline, but okay.
Okay, let me get her contact information.
But let me assure y'all this.
Let me see.
I was willing to go through the absolute extremest measures possible if these people rolled up on site and tried to kick this woman out of her house, who she paid rent. He had all her documents, everything is in place. This is what I've been going for since over a year and a half. They back again.
Corey, who is the company? And she can contact Atlanta Legal Aid or Metro Fair Housing. They have attorneys that deal with this landlord-tenant law. So,
right. And so, thank you, Al. Hey, put that number in the chat for me, please.
Okay. But who's the company? Because I know most of the regional managers.
Mind Company. Dollar Homes, but you know what I mean.
Who was it?
Mind.
MYND.
That's I've dealt with them before. So okay, all right, I'll see what I can do. I know some folks.
Now, I want you to help Ms. Dillard out. I need you to help Ms. Dillard
out. I've dealt with them before. I mean, they own some property. They're not a big company, but they own enough. So I know.
Invesco gave them $5 billion, brother.
They small potatoes in what we do. I mean, Tricon and some of these others are larger than that. So.
But that's the point I'm getting. But that's the point I'm getting at. This is the bigger issue than most. But I just want to let y'all know in this case, I've been on this since last year, March, and this is just something. But I'm bringing it out to the forefront because I said I couldn't believe it. These people coming back again, and I told her don't give up because we don't just give in like that. Because first of all, there's highly illegal, but at the same time, there's assistance and there's help and there's recourse, and that's why I want her to come on this call here tonight and just. Let the people know because I said there's somebody here gonna be able to help you out there because I'm crazy when it comes to this stuff and I know my limitations. So I need sane folks over there too because you just cannot just do that to seniors, like, you know what I mean? Plus somebody who she has a story and a whole background. But at the same time, ladies and gentlemen, I do that offline. Thank y'all so much. It is 7:37. It is Monday Night Football. Yesterday. It was a good deal. But go ahead, Tamika. Which announcements you have?
Do not forget that this Saturday is our movie night over at the Burdett Field. at
Which we
6
now
o'clock.
own. We now own, as of last week, Monday, we now own, the city of South Fulton owns that field. We signed the deed. We own
It,
it.
it is
Now,
also Code Enforcement Month. So say
Happy Code Enforcement.
hi and thank you to your code enforcement. And next Monday is well, this Friday is Faith in Blue, which is the community, the police, and the pastors meet at Enon Church. And then this Saturday will also be the ride along for pastors with the police. And then on Monday, they are
No, I thought you told me you were going.
uh-huh. Oh, then on Monday, they're doing the blood drive, you know, in the holiday season, they need a lot of blood. So they're getting ready for the fall. And so anybody who can come out and donate blood, they're looking for you. Councilman Reeves is sponsoring lunch for the first 100 people who show up with Blue Marlin. And it'll be over in the Grown Folks Plaza.
Oh, I'm sponsoring lunch. That's
Yep.
what's up. I'm sponsoring lunch. So, hey, bring out some people to come to lunch. But more importantly, hey, come to this movie night. Spread the word. Tell them, bring the kids out there. We own our field now. We have expanded our territory.
They're gonna
Now
have
we got
bouncy houses
right. I want people to come out here to the field because understand something. We now have to do something with it. What do we need most in this area too, as far as that? To me, it's a track. You know what I mean? And so the 8-lane track, because you know, we have a lot of walkers. And I think that, you know, I go up there to College Park and, you know, walk around the track and run their stairs. And so I'm tired of driving up there. You know what I mean? I want to be able to, I'm getting a bike too, by the way, y'all. So I'm getting fitted for a bike because I'm about to be a cyclist. I'm about to be because I ain't no cyclist. I don't want nobody saying that. But I want to be able to ride my bike to Burdett and then, you know what I mean, take a walk around the track and get back on my bike and ride home. And so one of the things is I want people to come out there and tell us what you do, what you think it should be or what it could be. I want y'all input. Somebody do the rendering, not me. And so, you know, of what it would look like, not y'all. I want y'all input. It's needed. We now own it. So come on out. If anything, take a look at it. Know where it's at. It's on Burdett Road and Burdett Way. And so it's at the corner. If you go down Old National, make a left on Burdett Road where World Change is, just drive straight on down. You're dead into it. If you're coming off Old Bill Cook, make a right on Meadows Way. Then coming out on Burdett Way, you'll run right into it. And so just come out, enjoy the movie night. Bring kids, grandkids, and you know, somebody bring some fresh hot Popeyes chicken. You know what I mean? Give me 2 legs. Okay. So, you know, I'm legit about that though. So don't forget the hot sauce. But outside of that, we have our grant writing class. Tamika, is the class full now?
It is now full.
So, and that's what I'm saying. And so we're going to be actually picking grants and writing these grants out there specifically to needs in this area. And that comes with the service that this is what it comes with. It's not just a class just to tell you what it is. It's actually a class to have an experience on writing a grant, going through the process and actually submitting a grant. Like, you know, I'm doing it too. And so we all going to do it together. And so that's going to be exciting. There's a Meet the Candidates forum too at this Wednesday, 7 p.m. at the Lodge on 138. And so if y'all can go out there, meet that, spread the word, meet the candidates. Y'all already met one who came on here, Mario Clark. Then there's 3 others that's running.
My name.
My name?
I said, I heard my name, Councilman Reed.
Oh,
I just wanted to say, everybody come on out, man. Come on out. Hear what we got for District 7. Hear our plan for District 7 and also provide your input. I thank you, Councilman Reeves, for providing me this platform to invite everybody out. I definitely would love to see you guys in the building.
Absolutely. Thank you, Mr. Clark. Another guy who is running, who's a familiar name too, is Alvin Reynolds. Another person, Reynolds, familiar name, Linda Pritchett. Another person who's unfamiliar name, but familiar lately is Drew the Man. And also, you just heard from Mario Kart. And so go out and see them, hit them for yourselves out there. Tell a friend, tell anybody in District 7, because that's who they're going to vote in. And I want to go ahead and get something straight, because I thought about this last night. And it didn't dawn on me till last night. I said, hold on, because when this election happens, right? If somebody wins outright, we're gonna have to wait till January to swear them in, or they're gonna be sworn in like time a duly elected person is won, because District 7 is unrepresented. So I got to go get the legal precedent on that, because to me, you know what I mean, whoever wins out there should be sworn in that day. Would y'all agree to that?
They do.
They do, right?
They're sworn in if it's not a runoff, they're sworn in at the next council meeting.
Okay, so right, it's not like not in January though, right? It's like, you know.
No,
so,
it'll be in November if it's not, well, yeah, November, or either the first meeting in December. Or he can go back and, well, he or she could just go get a judge and have it done immediately.
Because what I'm thinking,
Bill Edwards did that.
Right, because what I'm thinking is, I'm legit thinking about, because whoever is the winner, the time of the winner is done is like that midnight, right? Like they won. Okay, you declare the winner at midnight. Here's the judge right here. Okay, sworn in, because they need to get brought up to speed like rather quickly. It's not like you can just wait. And if you're not sworn in, there's certain things we can't share, right? So it's like they need to be brought up anyway. I'm gonna find that out. I don't even know why. That was just me thinking out loud, but I was thinking about it last night. It's crazy because they've been underrepresented for a long time. It's unfair. That is the epitome of taxation without representation. But don't get me on my soapbox. But
Yeah, they'll have to certify the election first, so it may take a couple of days after that. But yeah.
Interesting. Thank you, Mr. Venable. But look here, y'all. It is time, and thank you, Ms. Dillon, for sharing your story. And thank you, Al. Thank you, Jane. I know that y'all gonna go ahead and help out tremendously. I appreciate each and every one of y'all taking time out of y'all day to join this call and being engaged.
Hey.
Y'all truly are the best part of South Fulton. Yes, go ahead.
Hey, Councilman. Hey, I didn't mean to cut you off, but when would the maps be available? The maps we talked about last week.
Sheila, thank you. Look here. Hey, thank you. The new maps are out. So the maps had to be redrawn. We went through 8 versions. However, this is when we end up. There is a current map available right now at Burdett, live, blown up. And I'm going to bring the one that I have that was of the current map versus the future map. So people will see what's different and what changed. And so,
Councilman, you might as well go ahead and bring the school board map too, because that changed the zonings for the schools.
Which, okay, absolutely.
Yeah, they did some shifting in there. Some of the ones that in Welcome All that used to go to Westlake are going to be shifted down to Banneker and those. But yeah, it's a map, and the elementary and the schools.
Hold on. The school board redrew the
They
map.
did redistricting too.
Yes,
So
they did.
The school zones have changed. So
wait. Yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I mean, from what I can tell, it's not a whole lot. I mean, it's but they have changed. I know my subdivision split in half. If I'm at the bottom, I go to one school. At the top, it's another school. But there have been quite a few changes in there. And I know some of the people that were in Westlake School were kind of, I ain't gonna say upset, but they were concerned that
they're more than upset, sir. They're more than upset. I can tell you that. Because let me just tell you this, as this is what I do know, is people have started moving from out of state just to attend Westlake, just find properties just in that location just so they can attend Westlake. It's a program there, y'all. And so that's interesting. Thank you. You know what? Thank you for that knowledge, Mr. Mike, because I legitimately didn't even know about the school board's map. I mean, I was so paying attention to our own. I know the county did theirs first, and then, because of that, we had to come out and do ours. I was completely drawn back Thank you for that knowledge, because I didn't
Yeah,
know
it was
that.
on, the school board map was online. They sent it out on last week. It should be out there.
Yeah, I can probably send you a copy.
Oh, I'm gonna call Miss Dove and get a copy. But thank you for that information, because I actually have a meeting with her and the principal this week, and so thank you, sir. I legit didn't know that. But however, I do now. That's why we do this call like that, so we can all gain knowledge. Ain't that something? And so, but that's why, again, I thank y'all and for taking that time of this day when we all get educated. And so we'll continue to have a great day and a great evening, and go watch some football. And I appreciate each and every one of y'all. And let's do this again next week. And remember, y'all are the best part of the city of South Fulton. And I love you, and you can't do nothing about it. Goodbye.
Love you too. Bye.
Bye.